Have you ever tried to control everything, only to feel life push back harder and harder? And have you ever felt that the moment you stopped forcing an answer, something inside you finally softened? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are exploring a theme that sounds simple but can change your whole relationship with destiny. Trust the universe, not as blind optimism, not as passive surrender, but as a Zen way of seeing reality clearly, releasing unnecessary resistance, and practicing wisdom and compassion in the middle of uncertainty. Two ideas will guide our journey. First, most anxiety is not created by the future itself. It is created by the mind demanding certainty in a world that cannot promise it. Second, Zen trust is not about pretending everything will go your way. Zen trust is about learning how to meet whatever comes with a steadier heart, so karma becomes cleaner, choices become wiser, and life begins to flow with less inner friction. Let me tell you a story, because trust is not a theory you memorize. Trust is a nervous system skill. Trust is a spiritual practice. Trust is what remains when you stop fighting the river. There was a person named Adrian who carried a quiet fear almost everywhere. Adrian did not call it fear. Adrian called it planning. Adrian called it being responsible. Adrian called it being realistic. But underneath those words there was a constant inner pressure that whispered the same message. If you do not manage everything, something will go wrong and you will not survive it. Adrian was not lazy. Adrian worked hard. Adrian kept lists. Adrian checked messages quickly. Adrian tried to be the kind of person nobody could criticize. Adrian tried to be the kind of person who never needed help. Adrian tried to be the kind of person who always had an answer. From the outside, Adrian looked stable, but inside, life felt like a hallway full of doors that could open into disaster at any time. That is what it feels like when the mind believes safety is something you must earn through control. One night, Adrian lay in bed exhausted. The body wanted rest, but the mind stayed alert. It searched the day for mistakes. It searched the future for threats. It searched relationships for signs of rejection. It searched the body for signs of illness. It searched the world for any detail that might become the next problem. Adrian tried to force sleep like a task. Relax now. Sleep now. Stop thinking now. But the mind does not relax when it is being shouted at. The mind relaxes when it feels safe. And Adrian did not feel safe because Adrian believed safety depended on control. The next morning, Adrian met an older co-worker named John at a small cafe near the office. John was not flashy. John was not loud. John spoke slowly and listened fully. People liked being around John because conversation felt simpler and the air felt lighter. Adrian asked John the question that had no clean answer. How do you stay calm when life is uncertain? John did not say, "Just be calm." He did not say, "Think positive." He did not say, "Trust the universe," like a slogan. He asked Adrian one question: "What are you trying to prevent by controlling everything?" Adrian laughed and said, "Everything." John nodded and said, "Yes, and that is why you are tired." John explained something that sounded almost too ordinary to be spiritual. Life is movement. The world is change. If you try to freeze movement, you will suffer. If you learn how to move with movement, you will suffer less. Adrian asked if that meant giving up. John said no. It means stopping the inner argument with reality. It means choosing wise action where action is possible, then releasing what is not yours to control. Adrian felt skeptical. It sounded like philosophy. Adrian wanted a method. John smiled and said, "Let me show you a simple image. Imagine you are in a river. If you fight the current all day, You will exhaust yourself and still be in the river. If you float with attention, you can steer. You can avoid rocks. You can choose where to aim. But you are not trying to stop the river. That image stayed with Adrian for weeks because it described the hidden mistake Adrian kept making. Adrian was trying to stop the river. Later that week, John invited Adrian to a quiet evening talk at a small Zen center. Adrian was not looking for a new identity. Adrian was looking for relief. So Adrian went. The teacher there was a woman named Mira. Mira spoke in a calm voice that did not demand belief. She said, "People speak about trusting the universe, but they often mean, I hope the universe gives me what I want. That is not trust. That is bargaining." She said Zen trust is different. Zen trust means you stop insisting that life must follow your mental script. You accept impermanence. You accept uncertainty. You accept that some things will be pleasant and some will be painful. Then you practice meeting it with clarity, compassion, and steadiness. Adrian felt a resistance inside because part of Adrian wanted a guarantee that things would be fine. Adrian realized that was the real addiction, not comfort, but certainty. Mira guided the group into a short practice. Feel the breath. Do not force it, just notice it. When thoughts arise, notice that too. Then return. Adrian closed the eyes. Immediately thoughts arrived. Work, money, health, relationships, all the usual. The mind said, "This is pointless." The mind said, "You are doing it wrong." The mind said, "You are wasting time." Mira said, when the mind says those things, do not argue, do not obey, just notice, label it as thinking, then return to breath. Adrian tried. Thinking, return. Thinking, return. For a few seconds, there was a tiny gap. The thoughts did not vanish, but Adrian was not fully inside them. It felt like stepping back from the edge of a cliff. After the practice, Adrian spoke with Mira and asked the big question, how do I trust the universe when bad things can happen? Mira nodded and said, that is the honest question. Trust does not mean you deny danger. Trust means you stop living as if fear is your only teacher. Trust means you build the inner qualities that allow you to face life. Wisdom, compassion, discipline, patience, clear seeing. She said, when you cultivate these, you can handle more than you think. Then you do not need to control everything to feel safe. Your safety comes from your capacity, not from your prediction. That sentence struck Adrian deeply. Safety comes from capacity, not prediction. Adrian began to see that most controlling behavior was really a desperate attempt to predict and therefore avoid discomfort. But prediction is limited. The universe is wide. Conditions are complex. The mind cannot manage all variables. So if the mind keeps trying, it will never rest. Mira described this as a Zen lesson about the nature of the mind. The mind wants to hold the world like an object, but the world is not an object. The world is a process. When you treat a process like an object, you suffer. Then she said something that felt like a quiet turning point. The universe is not asking you to understand everything. It is asking you to participate wisely. Adrian went home that night and noticed the mind was still active, but there was less panic because there was a new option. Instead of forcing certainty, Adrian could practice participation. Over the next month, Adrian reined this in small daily moments. When a problem appeared at work, the old Adrian would immediately imagine the worst outcome. The old Adrian would try to control every honest reactions. The old Adrian would work late, not only to solve the issue, but to avoid feeling shame. Now Adrian tried a different approach. First, Adrian took one slow breath. Then Adrian asked, "What is actually happening right now? Not what might happen in my imagination. What is happening?" Then Adrian asked the second question, "What is mine to do?" This was the Zen version of wise action. You see clearly, then you act cleanly. Adrian took the practical steps, sent the necessary message, fixed what could be fixed, asked for help when needed, then stopped spinning the story. At first the story tried to return, like a dog trained to bark at shadows. But each time Adrian noticed it and returned to the next practical step, the dog barked less. This is karma in action. Karma is not a mystical punishment. Karma is the momentum of repeated intention. If you repeatedly practice panic, panic becomes your normal. If you repeatedly practice clarity and calm response, clarity becomes your normal. That normal becomes your destiny in the sense that it shapes how your life feels from inside. Adrian also began practicing compassion, because trust without compassion becomes cold. Some people try to trust the universe by becoming emotionally shut down. They call it detachment, but it is often an avoidance. Mira taught that true steadiness includes warmth. The heart remains human. The heart does not numb itself to survive. The heart learns to hold pain without adding hatred. So Adrian practiced a simple compassion phrase when anxiety rose. May I be steady. May I be kind. May I meet this moment without fighting myself. This changed something important. Adrian realized the biggest fight was not with the universe. The biggest fight was with the inner critic. The inner critic said, "If you struggle, you are weak. If you do not control, you are irresponsible. If you feel fear, you are failing." Compassion disarmed that critic. It did not excuse laziness. It simply stopped the cruelty. And without cruelty, the nervous system calmed faster. Now let us deepen the story. Because real trust is tested when life does not cooperate. A few months later, Adrian faced a real shock. The company announced restructuring. Teams would change. Some roles might disappear. The old Adrian would have gone into full control mode. Nights of panic, endless planning, harsh self-blame. Adrian still felt fear, because fear is human. But this time, Adrian also remembered the river. You cannot stop the current. You can steer. Adrian went to the Zen center that evening and sat quietly. The mind raced, but Adrian practiced. Thinking, return. Fear, return. Tightness, return. After sitting, Mira spoke with Adrian and said something simple. You do not need to trust that the outcome will please you. You need to trust that you can practice through the outcome. Adrian realized that was the true meaning of trust the universe. It was not trusting that nothing bad happens. It was trusting that life is workable when you meet it with wisdom. So Adrian took wise steps, updated skills, reached out to mentors, had honest conversations, prepared financially, not in panic, but in clarity. Then Adrian practiced letting go of the rest. The restructuring happened. Adrian did not lose the job, but the role changed. Some responsibilities were removed. Some new ones arrived. The change felt uncomfortable, but it was not the end of the world. More surprisingly, Adrian noticed a new freedom, without the old identity of being the one who controls everything. Adrian had to learn collaboration. Adrian had to learn humility. Adrian had to learn how to ask questions without shame. This became a spiritual practice, not because it was pleasant, but because it taught Adrian how to loose on clinging to identity. Clinging to identity is one of the deepest sources of suffering. When identity must be protected, life becomes a constant performance. When identity is loosened, life becomes more honest. Mira explained this is Zen in everyday life. You do not only meditate on a cushion, you practice letting go of the self you keep defending. You practice meeting situations without needing to be the hero or the victim. You practice being present. Over time, Adrian noticed something almost embarrassing. Many problems Adrian feared did not happen. And many problems that did happen were not as catastrophic as imagined. Adrian saw how much suffering was created by anticipation alone. This is a key Zen insight. The mind suffers in advance, then suffers again when the thing happens, and then suffers again while replaying it. Zen practice reduces this by bringing you back to direct experience. Direct experience is rarely as dramatic as the mind claims. Direct experience is just this breath, this sensation, this moment. Now I want to shift from Adrian to you, because you are the reason this talk exists. You are living your own version of the river. You have your own uncertainties, your own relationships, your own fears, your own future questions. When you hear trust the universe, you might feel resistant because some people use it to dismiss real pain. They say trust the universe when what they mean is stop talking about your suffering. That is not wisdom. That is avoidance. Zen trust is not dismissal. Zen trust is presence. Zen trust is the willingness to face the truth of impermanence with an open heart. So if you want a practical way to practice trust, start here. Notice where you are demanding certainty. Notice the phrase in your mind that says, I cannot be okay until I know. Then soften it. Replace it with a more honest phrase. I do not know, and I can still take the next wise step. Notice where you are trying to control other people's emotions. Notice the urge to manage how you are perceived. Then return to what you control. Your words, your actions, your values, your kindness. Notice where you are fighting what already happened. Notice the replay of the past. Notice the inner argument that says it should not have been this way. Then practice acceptance, not as approval, but as clarity. It happened. Now what is the wisest response? This is the Zen method. See clearly, act wisely, release the rest. Now let us talk about destiny. Because people often ask whether trusting the universe means giving destiny away. Actually, Zen teaches something more subtle. Destiny is shaped by conditions. Some conditions are outside your control, but one condition you can cultivate is the quality of your mind. When the mind is anxious and grasping, destiny feels heavy. When the mind is clear and compassionate, destiny feels lighter. Even if external life is still challenging, this is why practice matters. Practice is the daily repetition that shapes karma. Karma is the momentum that shapes how you respond. Response shapes the outcomes you create. Outcomes shape the conditions you live in. So trusting the universe is not passive. It is active inner training. You train equanimity. You train compassion. You train wise effort. Then you cooperate with life instead of fighting it. Now let me tell you one more story. A short one, because it captures the essence of Zen rest. A student asked a teacher how to find peace in a world that keeps changing. The teacher asked the student to hold a small cup of water and walk across the room. The student walked carefully, afraid to spill. The hand tensed, the shoulders rose, the breath shortened. The student became obsessed with the water. The teacher then said, "Notice that your fear of spilling is making you more likely to spill." The student paused and softened the grip slightly. The walk became steadier. The teacher said, "Your life is like that cup. When you grip too hard, you shake. When you soften, you steady. You still care. You just stop clinging." That is trust. carrying with a softer grip. Now let us bring this to a gentle close. If you are going through uncertainty, you do not need to pretend you feel brave. You can admit fear. Then you practice. You return to breath. You return to the body. You return to the next wise action. You offer compassion to the frightened part. That practice is what makes trust real. Trust is not a feeling you wait for. Trust is a habit you cultivate. When you cultivate it, you will notice that life still changes, but you are not constantly at war. You still face difficulty, but you stop adding unnecessary suffering. You still plan and act, but you stop demanding that the universe sign your contract. That is when life begins to feel like it falls into place, not because the universe becomes predictable, but because you stop blocking the flow with inner resistance. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you have experienced a moment where letting go of control brought unexpected peace, share your story in the comments. Your words may help someone else who is struggling with the same tight grip tonight. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment to support these long teachings. And if you want to support the work more deeply, consider becoming a member so we can keep creating calm sessions that help you practice wisdom, compassion, and a lighter relationship with destiny.